He's Grant Hill, part of the All-State NABC Good Works team, and recognizing 10 players that are contributing to the greater good of their communities. The former NBA star, Duke forward, he joins us now. How are you, Grant?
Dan, I'm good. How about yourself?
No complaints. Playing a little hurt, but you know what? You know that better than I do. You played with quite a few injuries throughout your career.
Yes, I do. Stop complaining and suck it up, Dan.
Did any coach ever tell you that? Stop whining and just play?
You know, I think at one point Doc Rivers, when he first got to Orlando, had a big contract. Obviously, the expectations were high. And, Doc Rivers kind of came in, and he didn't say it in those kind of words, exact words, but basically was like, hey, man, let's get out here and play, man, tough it out. And I told him, I said, just because your nickname is Doc doesn't make you an expert in the medical profession.
Doesn't make you an expert in medicine, Doc Rivers. If I was the coach now, so the best, if we played a game, who's going to be the number one pick of all coaches right now in the NBA?
The number one pick?
Yeah, if we're playing a pickup game.
Oh, pickup game. I would probably go. I like James Harden. I just love.
No.
The
current coaches are playing the game.
The current coaches. Oh, forgive me. Oh, that's a tough one. Monty Williams. He's still young. He seems like he's in pretty good shape. Steve Kerr, I think could be a nice complementary player. Can still hit the long-range shot. He's still in pretty good shape.
What about Hornacek?
No. I mean, Jeff was banged up and in bad shape when he played. Now that he's removed. Although I will say this, he is in Phoenix where they have the YUMS, which is an acronym for the Young Unorthodox Medical Staff. Shaquille O'Neal came up with that nickname, and they're known for doing wonders. So, maybe Jeff actually might be better than he was these last few years in Utah if he would have played now. But, the main thing is with all those guys who played, obviously great players, it's just who can hobble up and down the court the best. And you got to go with the younger guys in that situation. We
were talking about Greg Popovich's place in history. Not that Popovich would ever discuss, but he did have good players, great players, Hall of Fame players. And but if you look at his place in history, Popovich, Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, who else are you putting in that NBA conversation?
I think that's it. I mean, I think in terms of longevity, in terms of just consistently through the years, being successful, sort of being with one team there in San Antonio. I think Riley, Auerbach, Jackson. Even though Riley and Jackson bumped around to different teams, I think Popovich is in that conversation, and at least. What he has been able to do, obviously he credits his players and Tim Duncan, but, the success, what he's been able to do in terms of bringing along players who were drafted, low second-round picks, recent years, Kawhi Leonard. And I think one of the most fascinating things with Popovich is how he has changed his style of coaching. He's adapted in the last 4 or 5 years. It used to be a very deliberate, methodical team. Throw the ball into the post, space the floor, let Tim Duncan create offense. And as Tim has gotten older, they play with more pace, get up and down a little bit more. They don't rely on Tim as much. They shoot more three-pointers. So, the ability to, adapt and adjust and recognize, the strengths and weaknesses of your team. And in the last few years, and certainly getting to the finals, has really, shown his ability to do that. So, Popovich is one of the greats, and I had a chance to stop by one of his, his dinners about 2 or 3 weeks ago in Chicago, and I had a chance to visit with him a little bit. And, man, I was so fired up. I went and worked out the next morning thinking I was going to get a 10-day. But he's something about him, man. You can tell he just genuinely cares for his coaches, his players. It's about X's and O's, but it's about people and relationships. And I kind of said, man, I had a couple opportunities to go there. Maybe I should have done that.
He's Grant Hill joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Who retires first, Popovich or Coach K?
Popovich.
Really?
Coach K is like Benjamin Button. He's just getting younger and younger. So, I think Coach K, as long as he continues to get the Jahlil Okafers, the Jabari Parkers, the Kyrie Irvings of this world, those type of players, I think that, will keep him going. And, he's kind of, I won't say he's at a point now where he can get those players. He's got former players that play for him as assistant coaches. He delegates more. And I just think, what he has done and his success, I don't see him slowing down for a while. I think Popovich will probably shut it down when Duncan shuts down. And I think Tim's got another year or two left in him.
Can you do an imitation of Coach K?
Oh, man. Yes. Yeah, I can do one.
Okay,
yeah.
So if I ask you a question, you can do a Coach K impersonation?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'll try.
Okay.
He's got a little nasal voice when he talks. I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try.
Coach, 1,000th win. You should take all the credit. It was all you, not your players.
I mean, like Dan, I know where you're coming from, Dan. But I really got to give all the credit. It started with Grant Hill. I mean, when Grant came, we won our first championship. Now, I don't do a good
Who does a good Coach K impersonation that you played with?
I can't do a good Coach K. There's too much pressure, Dan. I mean, I know he's going to probably hear about it, so I got to be careful. But I will say this. Coach, couple of things. If he's answering that question, he is going to point to his players, and point to the guys that, he's had a number of guys come through there. He's not going to take all the credit and attention. He's almost embarrassed by it. And really, I think he is just so in the moment. Right now, he's just preparing for that next game. And so, it was a great moment. I'm sure he was, celebrated it and so forth. But it was almost a distraction in some respects because, he's so focused on just, getting through the season, taking it one game at a time. I know that's a cliche, but he really does have that approach. And so, I think he would deflect the attention, which he has, and give credit to those that are around him. And he talks about together as a unit, together as a program, we can accomplish great success. And he certainly embodies that. I'll work on my Coach K imitation.
Do you want to give me a website or the role that you have for the Allstate NABC Good Works team?
Yes, I would. If you can learn more about the Allstate NABC Good Works team, you can go to www.nabc.org. We have our 10 finalists, and they'll be unveiled at this year's Final Four. They'll all be there participating in community service projects benefiting the city of Indianapolis. So I'm excited to be a part of it again, and thank you for allowing us to talk about it.
Good to visit with you again, Grant. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
All right.